Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rosano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call the show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are down in the study. We are down here in your office working. You know, it's always a lot better if you can work in a clear space. And every time I come home and I want to get started on, doing the office, clearing out space, clearing out the clutter. There's always something going on. There's always like 5 other things that I have to do. But this weekend, this weekend, we're gonna get this office. Well, not this weekend, but Thursday, Friday, we're going to get this office cleaned up, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you have to make things a priority, and it's just that's just the way it is. But anyway, ladies and gents, how are you doing today? And I was having a conversation the other day with yesterday with my barber. I had my first haircut of 2023. Could it be my last haircut? We'll see. No. But I was having a conversation with my barber, and we was talking because he does artwork. And he had a store, in some part of Atlanta. It's on the east, like the east side of Atlanta, like a little outways out of the city. Probably like an hour drive from where I live. And, I was asking him about the store. So, how's the store going? He's like, I closed the store 6 months ago. And he said, the clientele, they walked around his art exhibit like it was a museum. They didn't come in and buy anything. So at first people would come in and buy stuff. He said then towards the end, it was more like a museum. He said they just walked around like it was a museum. They go, oh, it's nice stuff in here. And they would just walk out. And I said, that's got to be annoying. And he said, of course. He said, but I go to this other place and I can make $1,000, $2,000 in a weekend. And I thought, okay, that's pretty good. He's like, shorter drive, more money to be made. Why not? And we just talked about different ways of making money and different things that he's doing, different things that I got going on. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's so weird how, I had a conversation with my brother like a week ago, two weeks ago. Me and my brother, when I was 20, when I got out the Navy, me and my brother, we had a lot of conversations about money, about work, about this, about that. We would walk around Missouri. We would walk on Saturdays, and we'd say, got to figure something out, got to figure this out, got to figure that out, And when you get older, now that I'm 43, and I'm thinking, there are many ways. There are many ways for you to make money. So the point of this episode is, ladies and gentlemen, never be, there's always if there's a will, there's a way. I know that's something that's very basic. It's something that's very common, but sometimes some things just need to be pure, plain common sense. And if you think about it long enough, and if you sit around long enough and you just look and you figure out something, it's just like, if you figure out something in your area, I think a lot of times now, the problem is now that the world is smaller through the internet, through this, through that. Doesn't matter why, but the world seems smaller. And more times we focus on the national, the global. We focus on the things that's going on way over yonder, and a lot of times, if you just focus on your area, you could make plenty of money. I have a book that I read. It's a very short book. It's called Acres of Diamonds. Okay, and it's by Russell Cromwell, and it's a very good book. And it talks about this guy, and this guy was this guy lived on a farm, and he lived on the farm, and he was complaining, wasn't making any money, wasn't making enough money. I'm just giving you a synopsis. You can read the book. It's like a 50-page book, 80-page book, maybe. I have it in the office somewhere, but I was gonna get to it, but we don't have time for all that. But it's a good book, and it talks about and the guy, he didn't work his land. That's basically what they're saying. He didn't work his land, and he moved somewhere else. And somebody paid him like $50 or whatever, maybe. But the other guy came along. The water was coming up. The water was coming up on the land. And washed away some stuff. And come to find out, oh yeah, the guy was like an oil driller or something like that. Something like that. But basically, what the guy was looking for was right there in his own backyard. Instead of him digging real hard to find what's in his own backyard, he left, sold it, and somebody else came along and they made buku bucks from his backyard. And what I'm saying is, you don't always have to think about things in a national basis. I was thinking about this when I was driving the other day, and it's been coming to me. Because I write, and I write on the Medium, and I write on the website, and I just bought a website. I'm gonna build it up and build it out. I'm gonna do some writing on that, and I got another website, and it's and this is why sometimes you fall into the trap of thinking more national than regional. Conquer your surroundings first. If you think about it, if you make soap, are you going to be able to sell that soap to the whole world at first? Of course not. Through the internet, you will be able to. You market yourself and all that, But if you start off, you make soap, you have good soap, and you start selling. Let's say you live in Paris, Texas, for an example. You ever been to Paris, Texas? Old Perry. But let's say you live in Paris, Texas, and you start selling soap right there in Paris, Texas. And you start making some money, and then you go, okay, what's in the surrounding areas? You look at different cities, you look at different events, you look at different trade shows, different fairs, you start looking at that, and then you do that. And then you say, hey, tell people about this soap. And you start to get a regional following, And then you can work your way out. But sometimes you don't even have to do that. Sometimes people don't even want to do that. You can make all the money that you want. You can make money right there in your own backyard. What I'm telling you is, whenever you come up with an idea, whenever you come out with a plan, you don't always have to think, because the problem is, it's never about how much you make. The problem is, people think that if I'm not making, people think, Amazon is not the norm. Amazon is a grand slam, but it's not an overnight success. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they came out of the gate. There was a book company. They came out the gate and they did good, It takes time, you know what I mean? And so a lot of people think I'm just local. Everybody doesn't know me. Everybody doesn't have to know you. Everybody doesn't have to know you. Mind the field that you have. Mind the plot of dirt that you have. If you just work on your backyard, if you clean up your house and get things in order and make things, and start a business right there, success is not far away. Success is right there, right in your face. So it doesn't matter where you live. I grew up in Timbuktu, okay? And back then I didn't really think, owning a business and all this kind of stuff, because where I grew up, nobody thought, nobody really thought, hey man, we can own a business, And you think about it when you're young, and where you grew up. My parents grew up. I know for a fact that my parents did not hear the words, "Hey, you can own a business." I know their parents didn't tell them that, and it's not a big deal. You can't be like, "Oh man, I wish somebody would have told me this, that, and the other." No, it's not a big deal. You learn what you learn, and not to be preaching at people, but the whole point of generational wealth or generational, it's more like generational knowledge. What my parents learned from their parents, they say, hey, we're gonna they did this. You take some good things and you take some things that you didn't like, and you go, okay, I'm not gonna do that with my kids. I'm gonna do this with my kids, and then they pass it on to you. And then you go, okay, I like this with my pants, I like that with my pants. I didn't like this, I didn't like that. And then you try to do it with your child. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. The one thing that I loved about growing up with my parents, we all sat at the dinner table. And I'm laughing because they watched this TV show called Blue Bloods. And so Blue Bloods, every episode, they sit around the table and talk and have a conversation. And my parents and my brother, even after I got out the Navy and I was 20 something years old, I would go to my parents' house and we would still have dinner and we would sit there and eat and laugh and joke around. And it's not about, sitting there with hard hitting ideas and facts. We just talk to each other and talk about what's going on, this, that, and the other. And that's something that I like. And that's something that I do with my wife. I remember me and my wife, our first apartment, she made dinner and I said, come on, let's sit at the table. And we would sit at the table, and she said she didn't grow up like that. They didn't sit at the dinner table. So that's something that I got from my parents that I liked. You know what I mean? And so my wife had stuff that from her parents that she liked, and she's brought it into our family with our daughter. And to me, that's like important. Like, it's not about, because a lot of times people think, you see because I was thinking about this morning, like a NBA basketball player. Okay, because a lot of NBA basketball players or any athlete, they always say, oh, they took their whole family out of poverty. That's the exception. That's not the norm. Your job, my job, anybody's job, when it comes to a family, if you have a family, if you don't have a family, that's fine. That's too, But if you have a niece or whatever, whatever you have, is to just advance them ahead of you. Advance them ahead of you. Anybody. If you're a certain age, if you're 20, you're not gonna do the same things you did when you're 40. Some things you are, but some things you're not. Um, when I was 20, I could stay out half the night and then get up 2 hours later, go to work, and be like, "Ooh, I'm ready to go." I'm 43 now. I couldn't. I got to get my sleep. You know what I mean? Um, I don't need the full 8 hours, 12 hours of sleep, but I do need to get some sleep. I do like to be at home. I don't like going out. I don't like doing all that. So for me, that's just it's just things have evolved, and so that's you know, everybody grows, everybody evolves, and so let's get back to the locality situation. So if there's an idea that you have, if there's something that you thinking about, there's something that you want to explore. The good news is, yes, they have the internet, and you can always sell on the internet. You can always promote on the internet. But the good thing is, if you don't want to do all that, and you want to make just money where you're at, if you're like, hey, I want to create a business right there. Like, I have a friend, he has the donut shop. He has like three stores right here in Atlanta. He had a store over in Thailand. He you know We talked about him franchising one time, and he was like, I don't think that's gonna happen for me, but I don't care. I'm doing all right here. And I said, yeah, you got a couple stores here, that's good. That's great. That's he doesn't have to go. You know, you know. See, I'm again, not to be preachy, but the problem in the world and the problem with society this day is people think they have to measure themselves up to somebody else to be successful. What is success to you? Success doesn't. Everybody is not going to have the same success. I'm not looking to be a billionaire. I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for is, for me, success is sitting outside with my child, running my business, doing the things that I want to do from right here at my house. That is success. And I'm not trying to be super rich. I'm not trying to, have to, I don't want to say, hey, I'm in charge of 1,000 people. I'm not looking for none of that. I'm looking for peace, tranquility, to see my wife, see my baby, go visit my parents when I want to, have enough money to where I could say, hey, I want to go do XYZ and be able to do it and not have to sit here and think. So I'm not looking to be rich, but definitely looking to be, stable and have money coming in and not have to sit here and think all day. Because I know a lot of times you hear people and they say, oh, love of money is the root of all evil. Love, if you've constantly thinking about money and all that stuff, that could be, if you're obsessed with money, that could be true. But lack of money also brings evil thoughts and evil ways to people, because you see it all the time. You say, hey, why did you break into the store? I had to have money, I had to eat, or people come up. This is an excuse why people sell drugs. They go, hey man, I had to sell drugs, couldn't get a job. There's plenty of jobs. You just don't want to work. You just don't want to work those jobs because they don't pay you as much as you think you should make. You want to get money the fast way. But anyway, so let's all bring this home. You don't have to be a national known brand. You don't have to be, what's a national known brand? You don't have to be Walmart. It's okay. You can be Publix. Okay? Some of you don't know, Publix is a store in Georgia, Florida, a couple other states, I believe. Publix is a regional brand. It's great. Publix is a great store to go to. Publix, Publix. It's a great store to go to. But I know when I go past Tennessee, I'm not going to see Publix. When I go to Missouri, it's no Publix. When I go to Missouri, I'm going to see Schnucks. Okay? Schnucks is another, I think that's how you say it. Schnucks is another regional brand. When I come back to Georgia, I'm not going to see Schnucks, okay? And that's okay, because these companies, they make a great living just being regional brands. There are local restaurants right here in Atlanta, Georgia, where I live. They're doing just fine. There are local restaurants where you live that are doing just fine. There are people who make money where you live. They're local that I'm never going to hear about and you know about. They're doing just fine. The point of all this, what I'm telling you is, you don't have to become a national entity. You don't have to become a national brand. You don't have to become a Hollywood mogul to be successful or to be, happy. You can be local or you can be regional. Maybe nobody's going to hear about you, but that's okay. You're going to be a great success, make plenty of money, and you're going to advance the next generation further down the road, okay? And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I got eggs to go eat. We'll be back tomorrow with the all new episode of online marketing moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. God bless. I love you, and we'll talk to you later. And as always, everybody, peace.